Alright guys, Darren from FBA Elite and welcome back to another video. So in this week's video, we're going to attempt to review Helium 10 in less than 10 minutes from when I actually start reviewing the product. So I looked on YouTube before making this video. There already exists some reviews of Helium 10, but most of them are kind of 30, 40, 50 minutes long. And no one's got time to sit through that. So I'm going to try and review the core tools that I use from Helium 10. So I think there are over 25 in total, but there are only a handful that I use on a regular basis, and I believe these are the ones that offer the most value. So those are the ones I'm going to cover in this review. So I'm going to go through fairly quickly, I'm going to speak fairly quickly, and for each tool I'm going to point out what I think are the best features. So Helium 10 is split into two parts. You have the Chrome extension, which you install into your browser, and then you have the website side of things, which is the actual main suite of tools. So up first, I'm going to show you the Chrome extension. So the Chrome extension, the primary purpose is to estimate the sales. This is what these tools are all designed for. I'm sure you guys have heard of Jungle Scout and other tools like that. Well, Helium 10 equivalent is called Xray. So the extension installs, you run Xray, and then you'll get this group of data where Xray has analyzed the niche and has put it into a usable format. Now, the key thing you're focusing on is usually the sales to see how well products are estimated to be selling within that niche, so you can decide for yourself whether it's the niche you're interested in going into. There's lots of other helpful information as well in this tool. Some of the other things that I want to point out that have been introduced since I started using this tool. At the top, we have the search volume. This is for the keyword that you search for. So for example, this was for wooden chopping board, and it will show you the search volume history. Now, this is really good to know whether this is kind of a new fad product that's just been launched and has only been selling for a month or two, or whether it's a product that's got really bad seasonality issues that you want to avoid. So for example, a wooden chopping board, you'd expect to sell reasonably well throughout the year. Maybe there'll be a spike around Christmas and early New Year where everyone's, improving their diet, and maybe it drops off during the summer when everyone's having barbecues. I don't know, let's just take a look. So you can come onto here, you can hit the 1 year view or all-time view. You can see over the past year, sales or the search volume did pick up as we went through Q4 and into the early part of the year, and then it's kind of quietened off a bit as well here. And you can go to all time as well if you want to go back even further. And you would expect to see a steady growth on most of the search terms as Amazon has continued to grow over the past couple of years. So always keep that in mind when analyzing the seasonality and search volume history. So that's a really cool tool. You can also do this on an individual product basis. So you've got this sales graph column here. And this shows you, instead of search volume for the keyword, it shows you the sales history, the estimated sales history for that product. So if we click onto this one here for the top selling organic product, this will show you the estimated sales history over the last 30 days, but generally you're going to be looking at 1 year or all time to get an idea of how these products sell. And you can do this for 4 or 5 products to get an idea of what the seasonality is like and also what the demand is generally like. And this ensures you don't enter a niche with really bad seasonality issues, or you enter a niche where sales look really good at the moment, but next week or a month or two ago were really poor. So this is why this is really powerful. So this is Xray. I would strongly recommend trying this out. I believe you can actually sign up to Helium 10 for free to try Xray. In my eyes, it is the most complete sales estimator tool, and that's why I've been using it for the past few years. I've also got Jungle Scout installed here, as you can see there, but I don't really use it that often now. The only time I'll maybe use it is if I'm very serious about a particular product. I might run it to verify the sales, because generally these are pretty comparable when it comes to sales estimates. So also on the Amazon website, the Chrome extension does introduce a couple of extra features, so it provides some handy data here on the actual search results page. And then we actually click through to a product. I'm just going to scroll down so I'm not on a sponsored one. I don't want to cost anyone any money. Let's pick one of these, non-sponsored there. It will also load a sales, or sort of say a BSR history graph and a price history graph on the individual product. So the BSR, which is shown in red, this is really good for seeing how well that product sells against other products within the niche, because that's how the BSR is calculated. So you can see how well products have been selling over the same period of time as you could on the sales estimator, and you can also see the price history. So this is the blue line here. So you can find out whether the prices you're seeing within that niche at that particular time are what you can expect to charge yourself, or whether the prices are currently inflated and actually long term the price point is much lower. So it's another really useful feature having built directly into your browser. So going back to the actual website, I've got a number of tools I want to show you within helium10.com. So I'm going to go through these quite quickly. First up, we have Blackbox, which is effectively your product discovery tool. So if you're struggling for ideas for products to sell on Amazon, you can use something like Blackbox. You enter some parameters, then Helium 10 will suggest some products to you. You can then go to Amazon, run Xray, and do your own sales analysis. So let's say, for example, we're looking for a product to sell on Amazon.co.uk. So you choose the marketplace you actually want to sell on. You then choose your category. Now, there are a number of categories you'd want to exclude as an FBA seller, but that's for another video. So I'm just going to pick a general one, such as home and kitchen. Now, there are a number of other filters available for your product. So, for example, you can filter by monthly revenue, you can filter by the number of sales, you can filter by price. A number of these are available under the advanced filter tab as well. But let's just do an example. So I'd usually actually search by the number of units sold, but in this example, let's just say revenue instead. So a minimum of £5,000 per month in revenue, a minimum of £20, as I want to ensure the products have enough margin to work with. You can enter review count and rating to try and kind of remove the more competitive products, but I would rather make that decision myself, as I prefer to make my own analysis as to whether I think a niche is competitive, not just going by the raw figures as to how many reviews people have and what score those reviews are. And there are lots of other tools here, but let's just leave these blank for now. Click search, just to give you guys an idea of how this works. And then you'd get a list of potential products within this category or categories, depending on how many you selected, that you can then go and do individual product analysis on to see what the actual sales are like throughout the niche, what the demand is like, what the seasonality is like, what the competition is like, and stuff like that. So that's a good place to start. So Blackbox is a very good tool to use. Up next, two of my favorite tools are Cerebro and Magnet, because they're both keyword research tools, but they work in slightly different ways. So Cerebro is a reverse ASIN tool, which basically means you find existing listings on Amazon within the niche you're looking at. You take 3, 4, or 5 of those products, you put their ASINs into the search. Then Cerebro will analyze those products and give you a list of keywords that you can then use in your product listing or your PPC, based on the data that is seen within those product listings. So let me just chuck in a few ASINs here and I'll run the search. And you can see here I've got 4 different chopping boards, and then Cerebro will start to give me some useful data. So it's got the ASINs there. The frequently bought together is quite useful if you're looking for ideas on how to bundle your product. The word frequency is also quite useful for that. If you're trying to come up with features that maybe you want to customize your product, the higher the frequency, the more people are actually searching or should be searching for those products. So I'll also have a quick glance at these, but the key data you want to focus on are the keywords in this table here. And again, you can filter this data. So you might end up with thousands of keywords, and actually that's too many for you to go through, and you might want to apply some filters. So you can click on advanced filters and apply some filters to reduce that keyword list further. And I'll show you how to use that when we get to Magnet in a moment. So Cerebro is super powerful for doing keyword research, for finding what existing product listings are using in their titles, descriptions, bullet points, back-end keywords, that sort of thing, to list within Amazon. And then you can use all of that data to put together your own keywords you'd use in your own product listing and on your own PPC campaigns. Now, Magnet works in a very similar way from a functionality perspective, but instead of going to Amazon and analyzing existing products, it will just go to the Helium 10 database and return keywords from there. So if we just do a search for wooden chopping boards, and this will return a load of data in a very similar format to Cerebro, but it will be from the Helium 10 database instead of from analyzing product listings. So if we scroll down, you'll see here we've got over 2,000 keywords, which is far too many for you to go through manually. So I'm going to show you how to use these filters. So for example, some of these aren't overly relevant, so I might want to include a particular word to ensure all of those phrases include a word. So wooden makes sense in my eyes, so I'm going to pop wooden in here and click apply. And that has reduced us to 484 keywords. And if you want to go a bit further, quite a useful one to use is search volume. So exclude all of the low volume search keywords. So maybe if we put maybe 300 in there, then it won't show anything that's only going to be getting 20 or 30 searches per month. So let's put a minimum search volume in, click apply again. And this has reduced our filtered keywords to 28. So we've got some good keywords there to go through, and you can play about with these keywords. So for example, you might want to take wooden out and maybe put chopping in, or maybe take that out and put bald in, and you can play about until you get a good keyword list to work with. And if you combine Magnet with Cerebro, you can get some really good data. The other good thing as well is you can export all of this data. You've got various options for now. I'm just going to copy it to clipboard so I can show you the next tool that I like to use. So this next tool is one of my favorite. It's called Scribbles, and what it allows you to do is to create your product listing within Helium 10 whilst also analyzing the keyword data that you've got from using Cerebro and Magnet. So if I just take some of those keywords from Magnet and pop them in here, as I'm actually creating my product listing, so for example, creating your title, your bullet points, your description, it will start to tick off these keywords. So it ensures that you use as many of the keywords and key phrases as possible that you gain from your keyword research. So for example, if we type in wooden chopping board, you'll start to see on the left-hand side these getting crossed off, and this just ensures that you make full use of that keyword research that you've done. And then at the very end, if you've still got some keywords left over, you can just click copy unused. You can dump them into your back-end keywords, and that will ensure you're using as many of the keywords you've researched as possible in your product listing. The next tool that I want to show you is called Keyword Tracker, and this is so important for any product that you sell on Amazon, because if you don't know where your organic ranks are, then it's very difficult to make the right decisions with your PPC campaign. So what this allows you to do is to add your product and then add all of the keywords that you're targeting, and then it will track your organic rank so you know how well you're performing within the search results. So this is a product that I launched about a week or so ago. So if we click on the trend graph for one of the keywords, it will show us how we are performing for that particular keyword organically. So when I first launched the product a week or so ago, we were around about 100th in the search results. We then jumped up between 25 to 50th for a few days, and now we're breaking into the top 25, although we have dropped down a little bit in the last day or two. So it's so important you know where you're going with your ranks in order to adjust your PPC accordingly. It also can track your PPC. So if I just close this quickly, you'll see here it shows my sponsored rank position. So I know that my bid is high enough as I'm actually getting ranked well with my sponsored adverts, so my adverts are getting shown. So this is a super powerful tool, and whichever products you add on Amazon, make sure you add all of the keywords that you're targeting with your PPC so you can see how well you're performing. Then finally, the last tool that I want to show you is called Alerts. And Alerts is so powerful. It protects your products, or helps you to protect your product. Selling on Amazon is always not a dangerous game, but there's always a chance that things can go wrong. And Alerts just keeps you informed if things change. For example, over the weekend, I was in the garden having a barbecue, and I got an alert through on my phone saying I'd lost the buy box and that the number of sellers had changed. So I loaded up my product listing. I could see that another seller had tried to hijack my listing, they had hijacked my listing. So I quickly came in, went onto brand registry, submitted the complaint, and got that other seller removed within a half hour before they could cause any damage to my listing, selling iffy products and customers leave negative reviews and stuff like that. So there are lots of things you can monitor, from losing the buy box to if there's changes to your main image or description or dimensions, which is super important, as sometimes Amazon will randomly remeasure your product, charge you more, but they won't actually tell you. So I've had that a few times where I've got the alert about the dimensions have changed. I've contacted Amazon, they've remeasured it and put me back down to the original price bracket. You can also track your reviews as well, so that's quite useful in the early days. If a negative review comes in, you want to be aware of that as soon as possible. And for the most urgent things, which is buy box lost or listing suppressed, you can also get text message notifications as well. So it's a super powerful tool, and anyone that sells on Amazon needs to have alerts and notifications set up monitoring their products. So Helium 10 itself is a great suite of tools, and I'd strongly recommend it to anyone that's considering selling on Amazon and wants the best tool suite available. Now, in terms of pricing, their basic package starts from $37 a month. That includes Xray, which is a sales estimator tool, and that is ideal for people that are just starting out and are at the product research stage. I personally have the Platinum plan, and that's probably what you want to upgrade to when you become an actual seller on Amazon and your product's actually launched. There are a few ways you can do things. You can either buy it monthly, and if you do, we've got two codes. You've got FBA Elite 10, and what that'll do, that will give you 10% off every single month. So that's quite a good long-term code to use. You can see it saves you $10 per month. If you just plan on using it in the short term, so for example, maybe you're launching a product and you want to do all of your keyword research and you want to use Scribbles to create your listing, try FBA Elite 50, and that will give you 50% off for 1 month only. Unfortunately, those codes aren't stackable. But if you want the maximum saving possible, you can buy it annually. With annually, you can get up to 3 months free. So you get a 2-month discount anyway. And if you use either of the codes I just gave you, that will get you another month free as well. So that will bring your annual cost down to $873. And this is also available to existing subscribers as well. So if you're currently on a monthly plan and considering upgrading to an annual plan, although Helium 10 don't advertise this on the website, if you contact customer support, they will allow you to have it at this price. Just make sure you give them one of the codes that I just gave you. So I'd strongly recommend checking out Helium 10. It is a great suite of tools, and it will definitely help you with your Amazon FBA journey. If you want to do more product research, I'm going to pop up 2 videos. One is my product research cheat sheet, which will help you develop your own product research criteria. And I'll also pop up another video, which is my best 5 product research methods for 2021. If you found this video useful, I'd really appreciate it. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to see more from me, head over to fbaelite.com, sign up. I'm on the forums most days, and I'll see you guys over there.